This is Stars and Scopes with your friend Uma, updated every new and full moon with guidance based on planetary transits in the current sky and extra support from tarot. For accuracy, take a look at your rising sign first if you know it, and do feel free to listen to your sun, moon and rising if you'd like the full picture. If you're interested in your birth chart, check out the readings page at umaruby.com. And if you'd like to support the work, head over to buymeacoffee.com/umaruby and you can buy me a coffee. Finally, if you're a visual learner, look up Uma Ruby Tarot on YouTube and you can watch and learn. Okay, let's take a look. Hello Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising. Welcome to your horoscope for the new moon in Virgo, happening on August the 27th at 6:17 p.m. if you're in the southern hemisphere with me. How are you perceived, Sagittarius? What parts of you are considered earthy and grounded and comfortable? How are you related to in terms of your public self, and what attributes of Virgo do you identify with? In the old days, and you know, as the Romans say it, Virgo, virginity, that seems to be a rapidly outdated archetype, doesn't it? The idea, the concept of virginity is a language that doesn't hold much weight anymore in certain circles, and I think as we move through as a consciousness, we're rapidly coming to realize that that state of purity is a construct and something that we can move past. What I'd like you to think about in terms of your identity and what you sort of, how you're perceived, how you're considered, and Virgo, is the Hermit card in tarot. The Hermit is the figure that has pulled away from the social milieu, from the group, to absorb the lessons and to take in what it can glean from Mother Earth, and to ritualize and to alchemize healing. I suspect that as a Sagittarius soul or a Sagittarius identity, a Sagittarius sun, you're considered to be one that grounds. Folks might come to you and come to you for comfort, come to you for solutions, practical ones, come to you for diligence as far as the details of life are concerned. This could affect your career in some way, your vocation, your legacy. So at this new moon in Virgo, I want you to really zone in on those aspects of yourself, Sagittarius. I want you to zone in on your connection to Mother Earth and to your inner hermit. You know, it might be a time right now where you're being urged or asked to go inward for a moment, maybe to step away from what is expected of you and to journey inward. In the tarot card, the Hermit, they hold a lantern which contains the star, which comes later. It's number 17 in the major secrets of the tarot. The star is knowledge and wisdom and healing from the universe. The star is kind of an alien, and the Hermit holds that wisdom, that potential, as their guiding light. So I want you to, at this new moon, think about that. Think about your connection here and your groundedness here, and the wisdom that is downloading to you in this quiet, in this silence, and where it's coming from, and how that can activate or inform your public persona, the side of you that's most seen. This could be your career. 10th house does talk about, you know, sort of career and legacy and that sort of stuff. Let's have a look at the tarot. I think there's a square happening again, so another hard aspect, a direct one with this lunation. Mars has just entered Gemini, and at 4 degrees forms a direct, exact square with this new moon. So in terms of pressure from Mars, from that fire of potential, there's some interesting stuff to talk about. First up, the tarot card for 4 degrees of Virgo is the 8 of Pentacles. And this is what we can really work on, we can zone in on. If you're on your professional path, if you're sort of in a space of needing to develop yourself, or kind of if your career path, your legacy, you might find, I hope that you're finding that through commitment and through diligence and repetition as well, in a really healthy sort of trial and error practice sort of space, you're going to find a lot of comfort and a lot of access to manifestation, honing on this energy, the 8 of Pentacles. It's an interesting thing to be perceived, isn't it? The 10th does talk about that. It's where we're most visible. So in some ways, there's a expectation that can be attached to that. I think that in this 8 of Pentacles energy, we don't have to worry so much about expectation because we're in process. I want you to consider your public self, your vocational aspirations as in progress. I think that might really benefit you at this new moon, and also provide the space for you to call in what you need, what's the next step, what's the next development in that space. The 4 degree point of Gemini, where Mars is the 8 of Swords. So this is highlighting, activating, lighting up your 7th house of your lovers and your soul contracts, the people that you would consider soulmates in this life, the ones that you would imagine that you're contractually bound to in a love space. Now this 8 of Swords energy is anxiety, isn't it? All of these swords, too many swords, thoughts, remember they do create a cage if left unchecked. And this figure is feeling kind of bound, in bondage against these swords. And they're stepping on like a boggy marsh here. You can see there's emotion brewing coming up from the earth, in some ways forming a clay. So Mars is in Gemini and is going to stay there for 7 months. So think about Mars energy, think about that sort of warrior fire activation. You know that very well, Sagittarius, you're a fire sign too. You also know mutable energy really well, which is what Gemini is. You've got that in common, that sort of shiftable nature about you, that movable nature. So when thinking about your soul contracts, when thinking about your loves of your life and the folks that you are bonded to in love, sit for the moment in the understanding that there might be some anxiety in regard to that part of life, and that that's okay, and that you've got 7 months of encouragement from Mars to get what you need, and to also claim what it is that you need in those relationships to write the script, to move ahead. So there's a square, so it's sort of pressure at the moment. So I think that probably the salve for any anxiety that might be cropping up for you in that part of your life would be the commitment to task, commitment to your legacy, your public self, your life's work. That would be a really good thing for you to focus in on right now, in this time, at this lunation, and use the energy of the new moon, that space of wish making, that space of creating something from nothing. Use this time to call in what you want to have happen in that part of your life. And as we move forward, this anxiety will shed itself and it will release. There will be a moment for you to cut those binds in a lot of ways. So that's the astrology, Sag. There's an opposition between Saturn and Venus too, but you know, that's a story for another time. I think that we can focus in on that. If we're focusing in on our active response and what we can control or can work with, then we can focus on the moon, right? You can always rely on the moon. But I want to pull you some intuitive tarot. So these messages are coming from Spirit direct to you right now and in support of what we've just discussed. Or maybe it could be something completely different. We'll find out. All right. I got the 3 of Swords and I got the 7 of Cups. Interesting. This came out for another reading. We all have so much in common, don't we? All right, my love. Sagittariano. All right, I hold you in this space, yeah? I've got you. I'm wrapping you up. I probably don't need to describe so much what these cards can mean. You can probably see it. This grief that you're feeling right now, this moment of heartbreak, this moment of sadness, and this anxiety that's keeping you up at night is going to shift. But you need to feel it first. In a lot of ways, my tarot teacher teaches me that this card, the only way forward from this card is to remove those swords from the heart so the blood can flow. And this is where you might be. There might be some, and it could be repetition from the past, it could be memories from a past heartbreak that's keeping you in anguish right now. Could be fresh as well. Whatever it is, there is some swords that we need to rectify, or we need to tell where to go. We need to put those swords up on the wall so we can rest in a lot of ways. This is essential grieving right now. And I think that Mars in the 7th, Mars in your soul contracts, that passion and that fire might aid you as it's in there for 7 months. This might be a great period of time, a great 7 months for you to go through the grief process and to really feel it and to know that you're supported and that you're protected by spirit and by the planets and by the trees and the plants. You know, you're welcome here in whatever frame of mind that might be, whatever frame of mind that you find yourself right now. You're welcome here, Sagittarius. And I hold you in this moment. You've got some potential to look forward to. You've got choice. We all have choice. Right now, there's, you know, emotional push and pull, this way or that way or that way or this way, or this could be good or that could be good. I'm not so sure. This is a Cups card, but it is still quite air, isn't it? It's riding on a cloud. It's potential. So this might be an energy that you can rest from. You don't have to have the answers right now about where you're going to go to next. The next 7th house activation doesn't have to happen right now. You've got, 777. That's great. 7th house, 7 months, the 7 of Cups. That's a really good number for you. That's lucky 7. So everything in its time and place. Right now, let's get these swords out of the heart and let's hang them on the wall so we can heal. I think that's the message for you at this reading, Sagittarius, and I hope that it's landing. I hope that it's hitting home for you. Speaking of love, I love you. And I want you to take very good care of yourself, okay? If you'd like your birth chart read, you can head to umaruby.com and book yourself a place there on Fridays or Saturdays. If you've just got some questions, then please do hit me up on the comments. There's a comment tab on my website too that you can just write me and we can talk about whatever you need to, if that's appropriate. I'll speak to you in 2 weeks for the full moon in Pisces. All right, I'll see you there. Until then, I love you and I'll speak to you very soon. Take care. Bye.